Hey everyone, Pesmori here, and welcome to Trials of Innocence. It's chaos now in the courtroom due to the unexpected turn of the case. Even Annie is called to be questioned. Since I can't approach Annie, I must finish that matter during the limited recess. Chief, good job! I'm shocked you could see through such a clever disguise. Well, don't flatter me. It just occurred to me. Never mind. Since a member of Sky Shield is involved in the case, she must be the murderer, right? Next, the entire court will undoubtedly turn in our favor. After all, everyone knows what kind of person she is. Do we already have the game in hand? Really? Have you forgotten her behavior 5 years ago? 5 years ago, Erika Kujio... Now we have to know who the hostage in this situation is. Indeed, she's not easy to deal with. Yeah, she kinda cheated. Now you see the situation. We'll be facing a formidable adversary. As the defense attorneys in this case, it's time to make our final move. Huh? Do you have some ultimate move up your sleeve? Of course. Wait, what? What is it? Well, our ultimate weapon is you. Oh, me? Huh? Eh? Huh? Calm down. You were originally in charge of this case before I returned, weren't you? That's true. But Chief, you're here, reaching far across these new frontiers. What's the point of me taking over now? First, Annie entrusted herself to you, not me. Hashtag not my problem. She expects to see you win the verdict the most. Yes, but... More importantly, since yesterday, I had a subtle sense of incongruity about the case. Incongruity? I don't know what that word means either. Yes, it's like I've missed a crucial clue that could overturn all the deduction. And it doesn't diminish in the slightest, even if we exposed Kujio's identity in court. I've been on business recently, and missed several cases you handled. So I was thinking, maybe the key clue is actually in your hands. But I told you everything I know. Maybe it's something even you yourself have overlooked. Take it easy. You've independently handled cases with excellence before, and can be considered an outstanding lawyer. Maybe even an ace attorney. Heh. Besides, even if something goes wrong, I'll be by your side the whole time. I think I have no reason to refuse then. Good. We still have some time before court resumes, so I will handle the switch now. You focus on preparing as the lead attorney. Yes, sir. Well, she's always full of energy. What's behind the incident? I really want to find the answers myself, but I couldn't. Sophia McConn's true identity is just an open sesame to the core of this case. The rest is up to Luna in the upcoming trial of Innocence. She'll make it, right? She'll make it, I think. Oh, hi Stella. How you been? Now, court is in session for the trial of Miss Annie Lemon. In the previous proceedings, the case experienced a big change due to the exposure of the witness's identity. The person in the witness stand is extremely dangerous. I urge both the prosecution and defense to proceed with caution. Ha! Hey man, I know what it's like to disguise in video games. They're rarely effective, unless you're really good at acting. And I must admit, you had us in the first half, not gonna lie. Like Team Fortress 2. But Miss Ray takes over as the lead attorney at this point. Isn't she less experienced? I mean, Silas is also less experienced, but he took over somehow. This decision was made after careful consideration. She is more suitable to deal with the current situation. That's right. Maybe. Understood. So what about the prosecution? Hello, how you been? Sis, when did you come over? Are you going to switch too? No. Silas Schubert has a much better understanding of Sky Shield than I do. It's better for him to lead. It's just, I was originally in charge of this case, so I should see how it concludes. And for certain reasons, I have no choice but to be here. Just ignore me during the trial. I won't interfere unless necessary. Is that okay, Your Honor? Yes, of course. Hey, is your sister here just to occupy a VIP public seating? Is that an abuse of power? I am also a bit confused. I wonder what she means by certain reasons. Well, let's get straight to it. Witness, look at the bunch of bailiffs around you. Don't even think about escaping this time. I mean, to be fair, she had a hostage last time. I think you should be more concerned about if she has hostages this time, you know? My apologies for the inconvenience. I have no intention of leaving now. That's good. I'll ask you a few questions, which I believe everyone present is curious about. Why did you impersonate a citizen of our country? Also, what happened to the real Sophia McCon? Did you kill her? Ah, Mr. Beard, you have started me too horribly. There's no conspiracy. I was simply tired of hiding every day. I wanted to start fresh with a new identity. Ridiculous. Believe it or not, that's my answer. What? So you just stole someone's identity. Okay. Besides, I'm not into killing innocent people, especially those I don't know. Sophia McCon was already dead when I knew her. Isn't that like a terrorist's whole thing? And aren't you a head of one? Sure. She succumbed to her injuries from a car accident 2 years ago and passed away. So what she told us yesterday was the real Sophia McCon's experience. I mean, the Verity Lance didn't react when she said that, so it was true. As for why I chose her, it's just because she was a rootless migrant and similar to my age. After my hair growing long and dyed in black, I really looked a bit like her. All of the above made it very convenient for inheriting her identity. That's all. Yeah, sure, inheriting. Sure. Huh. So you're really 30 years old now. But 5 years ago you were just... 5 years ago, I was 25 years old, of course. It was all of you who insisted on treating me like a teenager. I never intentionally deceived you all. You made your age unknown. And you were acting like a teenager. Really? All I did was to dress up as Sophia McCon and miraculously wake up in the hospital morgue. Wait, why is this sudden? Okay, I came here to check the witness, like the new. Yeah, okay. Cash McConn's wife, true identity is Erica Cuccio, and the athlete. Okay, yeah. This suddenly came back. Gift from Annie. Okay, so I'm guessing this has something to do with it, and this has something to do with it. Okay, let me just call me Teko Otaku fucking weeb. Okay, yeah. Okay, I honestly don't know. Her body was properly buried in a first-class cemetery. Wasn't that considerate enough? Why? I see. Regardless of your reason, impersonating someone is unforgivable and illegal, so arrest her. However, since it's not directly connected to the case, the courts will temporarily set it aside. Now, both the prosecution and defense, what do you think of this witness? Regarding Erica Cuccio, a former gymnast of Neon, also known as Snowflake, ahead of Sky Shield. Hey, someone had to put the sound effect. Why wasn't it there? Our stance is very clear. She has not only committed numerous murders, but also a major suspect in several old cases. I believe many people present here have some old scores to settle with her. Don't forget me. But before that, let's focus on this case. Yes, of course. Miss Cuccio, answer me. You're the one who killed the village chief and framed Danny, right? Is the defense suddenly accusing the witness? Order. Order! Oh my. We haven't even finished saying hi in such a long time apart. But the two naive lawyers are in such a hurry to save their adorable little assistant. How dare— I thought you'd be more angry. How dare you be so arrogant now? You should know your situation. Regardless of the trial's outcome, I won't let you leave freely. Huh. Ridiculous. Do you really think you can restrain me with such a bunch of mediocre guys? You! In that dress, maybe. Order! Detective Sanford, you must ensure our safety. I will. And also, everyone here should remain vigilant. Even Detective Sanford is on high alert. Indeed, it's a bit of a headache to stand here in the center of the courtroom accused of being a murderer. And Charlie Drake, Luna Snow, the son of Saul Schubert, how do you know that? Even Detective Sanford. You are all here. How do you know this? Our grudge from 5 years ago are still unresolved. Today, the stage is ready. What do you want? It seems that all of you believe my appearance can overturn all the reasoning about this case. Why not? Don't make me laugh. You made almost no progress compared to 5 years ago. Back then, for some reason, my identity was revealed 5 years ago. I admit that I am Snowflake. But even if I am involved in some murder cases and brought some unpleasant memories for all of you, you cannot prove any connection between me and this case. Inciting emotions won't work on me, bitch. The information we hold extends far beyond this. You impersonated a citizen from our country and looked at the crime scene for a long time. That is very sus. Furthermore, your fingerprint was found on the chain of ore buckets, which proves that you used it to descend into the mine. And Nabuki has been dancing for many years. She has excellent dynamic vision to see the movements of ordinary people clearly. Only a professional assassin like you could pull off moves she couldn't see clearly. You used to be a gymnast with superior jumping abilities and distance judgment. It may be dangerous to jump from the bucket to the ground, but not for you. Huh, even Prosecutor Schubert's on our side now. Oh my, what a merciless attack from the start. Since you're all so passionate, I'll play with you for a while. Your Honor, ever since my identity was exposed, I've been grounded in the witness stand. So why not allow me to testify directly? Detective Sanford? I have registered her new identity. Her testimony is valid. Alright. No matter who you are, the court won't deprive you of the right to testify. But the credibility will be judged by everyone present. Very well, then all listen to me very carefully. Why that one? Oh man, this song. Sorry, this song is just really good. Really good, you know? Okay, where was I? Oh, man. Indeed, I concealed my identity, but I have no intention of changing a single word of the previous testimony. On the day of the incident, I was staying in the park the whole time doing my duty. As for the chain, perhaps I touched it while inspecting the equipment on the surface. Who knows? After all, I've been a housewife in your country for so long, completely disengaged from outer affairs. You haven't even figured out the whereabouts of the defendant, yet you're fixated on me. Is that reasonable? Yes. You're completely different from when you disguised yourself as the mine owner's wife. No. After all these years, Erica hasn't changed a bit, Desu. Alright, this is the truth you all wanted. Are you all satisfied now? Are you kidding? Leaving a fingerprint on the chain while inspecting equipment? That's simply unreasonable. So you have evidence to prove I'm lying? Show it, please. Well, calm down, Luna. Her words are logical, though unpleasant. We have plenty of evidence at hand, but none of it proves that she is the murderer. Have you forgotten? Making all sorts of seemingly far-fetched yet irrefutable claims is her specialty. I see. It won't be easy to find her flaws. Just calm down and carefully question her. Defense, you may proceed with your questioning.
Hold it!
Are you saying you want to maintain every word you said earlier as Sophia McCann? Oh, of course. Although my name is fake, my identity as the mine owner's wife is undoubtedly real. If you didn't insist on breaking us up, perhaps I would have continued to enjoy my peaceful life. You! Mr. McCann was deeply in love with you, and yet you have his heart to use and deceive him for the rest of your life?
Objection.
This is a courtroom, not a set for a romantic drama. I got carried away there.
Hold it!
Being a housewife is just a disguise. Doesn't eliminate your suspicion at all. Must you call it disguise? I was just peacefully living my life. Maybe picking fresh fruits and vegetables in the market is the true meaning of my life. Oh man. I mean, does that mean you haven't been involved in any activities of Sky Shield all these years? Yes, I wanted to retire. Do you have any problem with that? We've confirmed with the Interpol of all the countries. Since Erica Kuja was declared dead in the plane crash. Snowflake hasn't taken any further actions. Well, it's possible that you've been biding your time all these years to make a big move recently. Oh, you sound reasonable, but how do you prove it? I don't know.
Hold it!
What do you mean by doing your duty? Patrolling the park, inspecting daily equipment, and of course, taking care of Kashmir Khan. Taking care of him? How? Yeah, I wonder how. I mean, I think you have an idea. Oh man, okay. Oh dear. I never realized you'd be interested in this topic. You hide it so well. Huh? No, that's not what I meant at all. I can't believe I had the same idea. You better mind your own business when it comes to adult matters. Rat, she played me so well.
Hold it!
The whereabouts of the defendants are under investigation. It's none of your business. Right now, you're the prime suspect. Under investigation? Or are you intentionally avoiding the topic to protect her? Well, since you put it that way, do you already know how the defendants entered the mine? Oh, isn't it the defense's turn to ask questions? Why are you interfering? Maybe it's helpful to the prosecution. Fine. Out of pity, I'll give you a little hint. The oxygen in the tank was only reduced by the amount of one round trip. Only your assistant could have used it.
Hold it!
Why would you touch the iron chain while inspecting equipment? Were you just bored? Yes. Calm down. Fine. If you investigated thoroughly, you should have seen the above ground part of the buckets. To facilitate the workers in transporting the coal, the ore buckets and the chain hang very close to the surface as they ascend. I could easily touch them. So you mean your fingerprint was left when the chain was on the surface, not on the ground? Yes. She's clearly making up stories, but I can't refute it.
Hold it!
What makes you believe it was Annie? The same arguments could apply to you as well. Can't you think it through before asking? Because it's been proven that Annie has been underground before, so she must have had a way into the mine. And currently, the shaft seems to be the only possible damn it. If the oxygen was used by her, then no one else could have used it. Isn't it quite clear? Saves me the trouble of explaining. So you believe that the missing oxygen tank was used by Annie during her trip into the mine? Don't make me repeat. It's a waste of time. How did everyone enter and exit the mine at the same time of the incident? Better recall it now. Oh, you know what? Fuck you, I'm gonna make you repeat it. Ha 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 ha. Wait.
Hold it!
Again. I made you read it twice. Cause I hate you. Bitch. Is that all of her testimony? I think so. There's a flaw in her testimony, but what's behind it is intriguing. She seems to be leading the court to suspect Annie. I won't allow it. To refute her, I need to carefully recall the actions of everyone on the day of the incident. Too bad I don't remember it.
Objection!
I was not expecting that. Mrs. McCon, I mean Miss Cuccio, your inference about the defendant only seems reasonable at first glance. Oh? Why? We know that approximately 20% of the oxygen in the tank has been used. It's 18%, get it right. It's just enough for one person to make one round trip between the underground and the surface. However, did my client really do that? Of course, if she went down by that way, she would naturally go back by the same way. Wait, then pay attention, please. The surveillance footage clearly shows that Annie used the cage when leaving the mine. Even if she had used the bucket before, she would have only used the oxygen for a one-way trip. That doesn't match up with the remaining oxygen at all. Oh! Gotcha, bitch! Okay. Indeed!
Objection.
Cash McCon is not a professional at oxygen equipment maintenance, so his judgment of oxygen usage may not be accurate. If the defendant released some oxygen due to improper orientation when she took the bucket down, it could lead to the same result.
Objection!
No. That's impossible. If it's as you said, Annie would have to wear the oxygen equipment down the mine, and then return to the surface with the equipment by the cage. In the surveillance footage, there was nothing in Annie's hands. And Alex Song, who was with her in the cage, never mentioned that she carried an oxygen mask and a gas mask. Oxygen tank and a gas mask. So the defense's conclusion is... Our conclusion is simple. The defendant, Annie Lemon, couldn't have used the oxygen equipment. The person who used it must have taken the bucket for a round trip. And that person can only be you, Erica Cuccio. Order. Witness, in that case, I suggest you confess to the crime you have committed. Cut the crap. Huh? Although I have maintained a decent disguise, I have been avoiding too much contact with the judicial authorities of your country. That's why I didn't attend yesterday's trial and was unaware of the content of the surveillance footage. So forgive me. I made a small mistake just now. It's not just a small mistake. It's clearly a huge loophole. Is it? I don't think so. Actually, I just remembered something very interesting. This morning, after delivering breakfast to Cash, I took a stroll to the park. While inspecting the buckets, I found something strange inside the bucket. Something strange? Exactly. And that thing was the oxygen equipment you mentioned repeatedly. It's impossible. Why not? Perhaps after going down the mine with it, she didn't want to appear in the surveillance footage. So she simply threw it into a bucket. Dear God. Then the bucket carried the equipment back up. Since I recognized it as our belonging, I brought it back to the duty room. The fingerprints on the chain may have been left at the time, don't you think? Looking back now, I can't believe I helped the murderer transport the crime tool. That's horrible. Oh boy. Glad you still have that look. Oh boy.
Objection!
Nonsense. You just fabricated it on the spot. Did I? I think it perfectly matches all the issues you've raised. If you believe I'm lying, why didn't you present some evidence to refute it? The oxygen equipment has been cleaned, and there were no witnesses near above ground part of the buckets during the crime. Even if she was spouting nonsense, I can't present any evidence to refute it. Chief, what do you think? Her argument is far-fetched, but it does fit the existing evidence. Perhaps we should change our perspective. Change our perspective? Like what?
So noisy.
Huh? The defense's questioning is too noisy. I've had enough of it. Your Honor, the defense has wasted a lot of time merely overturning the witness's personal speculation. It's just a waste of time. Is it so? Yes. Although the witness is an international criminal, we can't forcibly assign the blame on her. Furthermore, the connection between Kujio and the victim is too weak. The defense has failed to provide any evidence regarding the motive for the murder. Motive for the murder? Maybe this could be a good entry point. Was he actually refuting me or giving me a hint? Well, what Prosecutor Schubert has said reminds me of something. The police have stated it's nearly impossible for the victim to be connected to Sky Shield. So, is there any other reasons for the witness to kill the victim? I see. We got a piece of evidence. Though it may not directly reveal the witness's motive for murder, it does indicate the existence of some kind of connection between the witness and the victim. Oh? Show it to us! The evidence that reveals the connection between Kujio and the village chief is...
That's it!
the letter from Sky Shield on the victim's body? Exactly. Although the reason why the village chief perceived it remains unclear, the letter clearly states there's an abandoned area in the mine. Someone will meet you there. In other words, the so-called someone should be a member of Sky Shield. And currently, among all the individuals related to the case, almost with the sound effect, you're the only member of Sky Shield. Oh my. Order! Order! Miss Ray's argument is indeed reasonable. Witness, you can no longer evade this question. I see. There's one more point. We discussed the issue of intact bloodstains at the crime scene yesterday. Prosecutor Ray previously explained it as a result of a hug during the murder. With the exposure of Erika Kujio's identity, a new possibility arises. The method of murder. A good perspective. We know that Snowflake, also known as Erika Kujio, is a professional assassin skilled at throwing sharp objects. Just imagine, what if the village chief was killed by you throwing a knife? Yes, indeed! Finally. Just say it if you have thought of it, dead-eyed guy. Witness, I was in the military once, and I know that the skill of throwing sharp objects is very difficult to master. What? Okay. I'm afraid you're the only one who can do it. Bro, you were in the military and now you're a lawyer? Damn. Not bad. Was it a conscription or was it like voluntary? That's right. From the method of murder to the reason for meeting the victim, you're the only relevant person. That's so... I'm so scared. Am I? Huh? You're really uncreative. Since the letter mentioned someone will meet you, you directly accuse that person as me. Just because the victim might be killed by a throwing knife, and I happen to be skilled at that, the murderer must be me? Yes? If such kind of flawed logic can be accepted into the court, it's truly laughable. heard the news that your country, there is a fugitive bandit who goes around robbing and killing people with a hammer. According to your logic, shouldn't we arrest the judge who's good at using the gavel? But what? I swear on my honor it wasn't me! No one thinks it's you even if you don't swear it, unless it's actually him. Is he gonna be the killer of Case 5? Listen carefully. All your accusations against me so far are baseless. You've confirmed many of your suspicions. A few clever words won't allow you to evade sanctions, bitch. Fine. Try me, bitch. Is she trying to have a confrontation with me right here, right now? Like a physical one? Oh. Okay.
我一定会把你那可笑的推理，通通驳斥的体无完肤的。
Oh, this is something.
你们死咬着说我是凶手，无非是因为案件和天盾扯上了关系。难道我是天盾的一员，就一定要对组织的一切都了如指掌？听好，你们找错人了。我和死者素不相识，他和组织更是毫无关联。至于我在矿坑公园留下的痕迹，我已经给出了合理的解答。还有废矿区地面上的洞，如果无法证明洞因何存在，就与我无关。
I'm gonna make it your business, bitch.
Objection！ 我在今天的庭审中已经借助示意图解释过那个小洞的作用了。
嘿，
你无法否认我提出的可能性。伊迪亚里，我的中文发音很不标准吗？我说的是证明，而不是可能性。说到底，你们的根据只是造成洞的东西尺寸和凶器相符，这可无法证明它就是凶器本身。毕竟坑里的洞可没有弹道分析这种手段。你这是狡辩！吃不到葡萄就要说葡萄酸，这是和你们学的啊，严谨。
Oh man.
可恶
Oh man. I must admit that's oh man. Okay, I gotta move on. That's I'm not her opponent in sophistry. Stay focused. Find the loopholes in her words. Okay.
听好，你们找错人了。我和死者素不相识，他和组织更是毫无关联。Objection！ 如果你说死者与天盾毫无关联，那么死者又为什么会收到那封威胁信呢？伊迪亚里，别在这里跟我玩文字游戏。我的重点是我本人和这位老人毫无瓜葛。Objection！ 你刚刚说的明明是你与死者素不相识，且死者与组织毫无关联。如果你真的已经彻底金盆洗手退出组织，又怎么能确定死者与组织有无关联？你的发言恰恰说明了你和天盾组织还有联系。
Gotcha.
好，那就算是我把话说满了，因为我根本不知道组织和这位老人究竟有没有关系。我这2年一直在给挣大钱煮饭、烧菜、洗碗，早就懒得管这些事了。这位老人的名号我连听都没听过，我也纳闷他为什么会被卷进来。 昨天的庭审我还是听大钱转述了的，我只知道组织好像给那老人寄了张卡片。你们所有人，再加上警方，不是也一样搞不清楚组织为何要威胁他吗？这的确如此。除此之外，我相信你也拿不出任何证据能证明我和死者相识，不是吗？没查到，并不代表不存在。哼，嘴还挺硬。我不介意给你这脑筋转不过来的笨孩子多解释几遍。
The next round is coming. This time I'll catch you off guard. Hey, let me just say first.
我再强调一遍，当天我没有去过现场，也和死者没有过任何接触。我是真的金盆洗手了，就连汉德、象限相继死去，都是看了新闻才知道的。我尽职尽责地经营着新生活，才没有你们设想的阴谋。至于刚刚提到的组织寄出的卡片，我也是第一次听说。被告席上的小姑娘一直一言不发，怀疑她隐瞒了真相，才更合理吧
？She managed to explain away all the inconsistencies she showed since the trial began. I had to find a solid loophole to break through her defenses. I gotta focus.
我再强调一遍，当天我没有去过现场，也和死者没有过任何接触。Objection！ 你真的能斩钉截铁地断言，自己和死者从来没有任何接触吗？伊比亚里，没做过的事就是没做过，我和这死者根本没有任何机会认识和接触。你空口无凭，拿不出证据，对吧？我这就用证据来戳穿你的谎言。
Here's my opportunity. I still don't know what connection she has with the village chief. It's easy to prove that she did have contact with him by a certain item found in the village chief's belongings. I really hope so. The piece of evidence that can prove that you definitely have contact with the victim on the day of the crime. Possessions.
That's it. 最开始我还对这件证据困惑不解，还要感谢你的出现，将答案告诉了我。
好，
林小璐，你刚刚声称自己在案发当天既没去过现场，也没见过死者。那么这件证据，你打算怎么解释？这是。
Ah! Gotcha, bitch! Gotcha, bitch! Yeah! Fuck you! Finally! Got her speechless. A souvenir for athletes. I see. Yes, this handkerchief is a souvenir from the 39th Universal Games hosted by our country 5 years ago. The design was specifically given to participating athletes. More importantly, the village chief tightly clutched it in his hand before he passed away. The village chief has been frail and sick for years. It's impossible for him to come to watch the game 5 years ago. He also had no way of obtaining the limited edition of souvenir. The only one who had the qualification to get it is you, a gymnast who participated in the Universal Games 5 years ago. Erica Cuccio. Oh, I didn't expect that. You have repeatedly emphasized in your testimony you had no acquaintance with the victim, right? So don't even think about to deceive us with excuses like I gave it to him as a gift. Ha! That's right. A handkerchief that has gone through 5 years would likely bear numerous traces of usage. Once we examine the DNA on it, we won't be able to deny it anymore. Order. Order! Witness, how did you intend to explain the handkerchief? She can't explain. Every path has been blocked. Oh my. I didn't expect to be cornered like this. Well, at this point, I have no other choice but to admit it. You finally admit it. I have no choice but to admit that I concealed the most crucial information in the case. Huh? Hey, assistant girl, at the defense seat. Me? I really didn't expect that you, an innocent and lovely girl, would be involved in such an outrageous evildoing.
Objection!
Kuchio, what are you doing? Why are you suddenly talking to Annie? Shut up. Just listen quietly. Assistant girl, I gave you this handkerchief out of kindness, but you left it at the crime scene. Were you trying to frame me? Huh? What? Or perhaps after you killed their grandfather, you left it at the scene by accident. Boy. Oh dear, if that's the case, how unlucky I am. I didn't.
Objection!
Kuchio, who would believe such a baseless accusation? Baseless accusation? Really? When I came back from the market this morning, I met this little girl who went into the park. I didn't know what happened to her, but she looked very distressed, as if she was about to burst into tears. I took pity on her and went over to offer some words of comfort, and then I gave her this handkerchief to wipe her tears. I heard enough of your BS. Your Honor, the defense requests. Young girl, how do you plan to keep, how long do you plan to pretend to have amnesia? I really...
Objection!
Your Honor, the witness is using the defendant's amnesia to slander her. The defense will never condone such despicable behavior. Indeed, the witness's claim completely contradicts the established conclusion, and there's no need for the court to accept it. Damn straight, don't accept it. Objection sustained. Witness, the court will never allow you, has never allowed you to communicate directly with the defendant. Stop! If you do it again, the court will request
Wait! Please!
Annie? Are you okay? Oh. No. No. I remember everything. What did you say? Sis Luna, Chief, I'm sorry. Sorry. What Mrs. McCann said is all true. What? And I remember another thing. It was me who killed Grandpa. What? Yes, it was me who plunged the knife.
Objection!
Annie, stop making up stories. I know you better than anyone. No, I'm not lying. I am the one who killed Grandpa. Your Honor, I request to plead guilty in court. Order! Order! Can anyone tell me what's going on here? What? Annie! What on earth are you saying? Heh. It's so ironic. So ironic. I'm laughing my ass off. What? I've been living in this city for over 2 years, and even the closest people to me don't know my true identity. How long have you known the defendant? What makes you so sure she wouldn't commit murder? How do you really know her? You! Sometimes the truth is not pretty, but it's the only fair thing. Isn't that the famous quote of your chief? Can't accept it when it's your turn, huh? The truth can indeed be cruel sometimes, and no one has the right to reject it. But all this is based on the accuracy of the so-called truth. Chief! We've come all this way. We can't give up now. Yes. But, Chief... Sis Luna... I'm sorry. I... disappointed you. Your Honor, please declare me guilty.
Objection!
Enough! Annie, testify. What? Even the prosecution might not accept such a hasty confession. Agreed. Just saying it was me who killed him won't convince anyone on our side. If you really want to confess, go to the witness stand. Your actions, your methods, your motive. Since you've remembered, make it all clear. If I find even a single loophole, even if it's your testimony, Annie, I'll overturn it. I understand. The court allows the defendant to testify in person, but before that I must remind the defense. No one has the right to force the defendant to give testimony against herself. She has the right to remain silent at any time. Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. So, I'll begin my testimony. Oh! I won't fail. I won't fail. Sis Luna. Chief, it's enough. I'm really sorry. After sending a leave message to Sis Luna that day, I went to the mine park alone. At the park entrance, I encountered Mrs. McCann. I got her handkerchief at the time. And then I stole the oxygen equipment from the duty room and used it to descend to the mine in the ore bucket. It was me who used the knife to kill Grandpa. As for the motive, I choose to use my right to remain silent. It's very painful to hear that. Although some details are still unclear, the defendant's confession seems to have explained everything.
Objection!
Your Honor, the defense still maintains the innocence of the defendant. Yeah, this is a trial for it after all. What a stubborn lawyer. I understand. This is probably the last testimony in today's trial. I never thought I would face such an outcome. Annie, I don't know what secrets you have, but I won't back down. Never back down, never what? Question carefully, and then patiently seek out loopholes. I will ruthlessly refuse even if it's you. Then defense, please continue.
Hold it!
You don't need to apologize. If you feel guilty, just tell us the truth. Whatever the truth, Chief and I will always support you. Annie, don't you trust us? I'm sorry. Sis Luna, every word I'm about to say is true. I really didn't lie. I just remembered everything. That's all.
Hold it!
Why did you have to steal the oxygen tank equipment? Why didn't you wait for the cage? Grandpa was in poor health, and the environment underground. I was afraid he couldn't bear it, so I was very anxious. But how did you know you could descend into the mine using the ore bucket? And how did you know where the oxygen equipment was? I don't want to talk about that. That's very important, Annie. Just say it. I can't. Annie.
Objection.
The defendant has clearly expressed refusal to answer this question. What's your intention by pressing on like this? Well, objection sustained, defense. What's your wording? Sis Luna, I'm sorry. Alright, I'll ask another question. The oxygen consumed for the tank from a single person's round trip. But according to your statement, you only used the ore bucket for a one-way trip. How do you explain that? Here's what I think. I was not very familiar with using that thing. Perhaps I accidentally released some oxygen because of a misoperation?
Objection!
How can you say that? Are you helping Kushio to cover up her lie? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just stating my speculation. Since you're not very familiar with the oxygen tank, why would you feel so comfortable wearing it on the bucket? What if the mask wasn't secured properly, or the equipment failed to release oxygen in time? It could have been fatal. Is that so? Then it can only be said I was lucky. This is impossible. Recklessness is not her style. But how can I refuse such a statement?
Hold it!
Why did you go to the mine park? Because that morning, Grandpa sent me a text. He said he had arrived in our city and would be waiting for me underneath that mine, asking me to come and see him. So the village chief contacted you by phone on the day of the incident. Yes, Grandpa wasn't familiar with electronic devices, but he could use basic functions like texting or making calls. What did his message say? Can I see your phone?
Objection.
The police have already checked the defendant's belongings. I couldn't find her phone. By the way, the victim's phone has been found earlier. Maybe they were both thrown into the depths of the mine. Untraceable. If that's the case, we can't prove who sent the message. If someone killed the village chief first, then used his phone to lure Annie to the scene.
Objection.
Your speculation is possible, but there is no point in obsessing over something we can't prove. Even if the message sent to the defendant wasn't from the victim himself, it doesn't refute any of the defendant's testimonies. Although I'm reluctant to accept it, he's right. Annie has already admitted to killing the village chief. On this basis, delving into details before the incident won't make a difference.
Hold it!
You met Miss Kushio on the day of the incident, right? Yes. Just as she said, I was a bit anxious at the time because the cage didn't arrive. At this moment, Mrs. McCann happened to pass by and she came to check on me and even gave me a handkerchief. It's like she's just repeating Kushio's words. Sorry, Mrs. McCann. I didn't mean to leave the handkerchief at the scene and cause you trouble. Never mind, as long as you can clarify it.
Objection!
Annie, why do you acknowledge the words of this international criminal? Are you being threatened by her? No, I haven't been threatened at all. Then why do you have the courage to add this statement to your testimony? Sis Luna, you're bluffing. I'm familiar with it. You don't have to use this tone. Is that so? The words just now, I'll add them to my testimony. I haven't been threatened by anyone. I just remembered everything just now.
Hold it!
Annie, are you okay? Are you serious? Yes. This is the most crucial and yet the most incomprehensible part. Why on earth would you choose silence here?
Objection.
Your Honor, this objection is on behalf of you. Oh, right. Miss Ray, the defendant has clearly indicated her intention not to discuss this matter. If you continue to pressure her like this, I will have to suspend your questioning. I understand. I'm very sorry.
Hold it!
Perhaps it's not you who's directly threatened. Are your acquaintances safe? Detective Sanford. The defendant's social circle is very simple. The villagers of Lemon Village have been long under police protection. There's a college student named Wolfgang Collifield, who's attending classes at university. Considering his parents' identity, it's unlikely anyone dares to touch him. Her remaining acquaintances are all present in the courtroom. Has any of you been threatened? Probably not? Then you should understand that it's unfounded to say that the defendant was threatened by someone. Is that so? Annie, did you know this witness before, regardless of her identities? I don't know Mrs. McCann, and I never heard the name Erica Cuccio before. Did you hear everything you know about her in court? Yes. I wouldn't have known Mrs. McCann's name if you hadn't mentioned it. Do you have to make me sound so old, kid? Sorry. Don't say sorry to her, fuck her! And Mr. McCann did that literally. Wait, what? Cuccio stopped her activities years ago, so it's normal Annie, new to the outside world, hasn't heard of her. Seems we've hit another dead end. What? Why would Annie suddenly confess? Doesn't make sense! If her words align with every piece of evidence, our situation could become extremely perilous. I wouldn't believe any of those words, but why can't I find a breakthrough no matter how hard I try? Did my intuition come true after all? This is really troublesome. Is there really a contradiction in her testimony I haven't discovered? Or is the problem elsewhere, and the testimony itself not worth questioning? What should I do? Okay, let me just check if the save works. I don't want it to fail. I forgot that that's okay, here. Okay, yeah. Miss Ray, have you finished questioning? Yes. The defense believes our questioning of her can be concluded. So are you intending to accept this confession statement? No. We still believe that the defendant made this unnatural confession for some reason. But even with further questioning, we can't uncover this reason. In that case, Your Honor, we should do something, right? The defendant's confession is logical and consistent with the existing evidence. We don't want the defense to feel bitter about losing, which is why we allowed the meaningless questioning just now. Are you two going to continue playing dumb? There should be a limit. In that case, let's conclude the defense's testimony here. I believe all evidence in this case has been clarified, and we have the defendant's explicit willingness to confess. It should be unquestionable to issue a verdict at this moment. What should we do? Are we really at a dead end? So I hereby announce...
Objection!
Mr. Drake, do you have any questions? I have no questions. The one with questions is our lead defense attorney. Me? I see. So, Miss Ray, do you have any questions anything else to say? Chief, what are you doing? Luna, do you remember what I told you during the recess? You mean the key to everything is actually in my hands? That's right. Since yesterday, I felt that something unexpected is gonna happen today. But unfortunately, I can't do anything. Behind Annie's extremely inconsistent testimony, there must be some deeper secrets. Is that so? Perhaps use everything you learned since you came into the law office and reconsider the entire event. After eliminating all impossibilities, even if the remaining possibility is absurd, it must be the truth we're seeking. Luna, the judge's gavel is about to fall. Now's our chance. Now's our only chance. The rest is up to you. I understand. I'll give it my all. At this point, it's unlikely I'll obtain any new clues or evidence. What I have in hand is possibly all there is. Annie, the person I trusted the most, yet at the very end of the trial, she shows me the most difficult puzzle. Throws me. Well, where did we go wrong? Think it over, Luna. Think it over. Beneath all these intricate and contradictory appearances, there must be some crucial fact we've overlooked. I believe that up until Annie's confession, every deduction I made was correct. Erica Cuccio, who took on the identity of Sophia McCon, became the mine owner's wife for some undisclosed purpose. On the day of the incident, she took the oxygen equipment from the duty room and used it to ride the bucket down into the mine. It's far between the bucket and the ground from the working section. Jumping across it requires good judgment and physical ability. But that was easier for Cuccio, a former world-class gymnast. She met with the village chief in the mine and killed him, then returned via the bucket. According to Cash McCaw's testimony, he probably saw Cuccio on her way back to the duty room when he was hiding behind the tree. Even if he didn't admit it in court, the reactions of everyone present proved it. All evidence and clues indicate that the culprit who killed the village chief is Erica Cuccio without a doubt. However, Annie recovered her memory at this delicate moment and disrupted all our plans. From the strange amnesia at the beginning to suddenly recovering her memory just now. Everything she said corresponds with Cuccio's unreasonable claims. It's just too unnatural. Did Annie really lose her memory? From the beginning of the incident until a few minutes ago, Annie has been in a state of complete amnesia. But just as Cuccio was about to be in a desperate situation, she miraculously remembered everything. This can't be a coincidence. Although I verified with the Verity Lance on the first day of investigation that she's not lying. But that device is suspicious technology after all. Maybe it just happened to malfunction that day. Annie's amnesia was fake, wasn't it? From her behavior just now, it's clear that she received Cuccio's instruction and confessed in order to protect her. But if that's the case, we must face a crucial problem. Why does Annie protect Cuccio? No, that's impossible! Annie didn't even know what Sky Shield was until a few months ago. And why would such a world-class criminal organization recruit a 17-year-old girl who hardly ever leaves the village? Besides, Annie's been in the office for so long. I know exactly what she does every day and who she contacts. She didn't have the slightest chance to establish any connection with Sky Shield. Why? Okay, no. Detective Sanford gave a very clear answer just now. All of her acquaintances are safe. Sky Shield can't touch the people the police are trying to protect. Maybe they can. Moreover, Annie was put in the detention center right after the incident, so she had no chance to contact Kujio. They couldn't even communicate, so how could she be coerced? Why? No, Annie's a simple-hearted girl. She shouldn't be bribed by anything. Even if she was an assistant. She even thought the room was and board our office provides is too much. She wants nothing. How could someone who desires nothing be bribed? Think it over. Why would Annie protect Kujio? I really can't think of any reason why Annie would protect Kujio. If I completely overturn my mindset like Chief does, the conclusion would be she simply had no reason for doing so and just obeys unconditionally. What am I thinking? Seems that dwelling on this issue won't yield any answers. I need to go back to Annie's earlier actions. We need to start with the fundamental question. Who used the oxygen tank that day? That's right. I won't believe Kujio's bullshit. The person who used the bucket to descend into the mine could only be her. Whether it's the breathing tube, fingerprints on the chain, or the ability to leap over a 5-meter gap, all the evidence points to her. Alright, let's follow this line of thought. If it was Kujio who used the oxygen equipment, there's one question that must be answered. How did Annie manage to go down to the mine? Think it over. Everything I've seen and heard during the investigation in the mine park. If we combine our efforts... Oh, right. The memory that could reveal Annie's method in entering the mine is... Could it be that she stole the keycard to operate the operational restrictions and used the cage to go down? Okay, no. Before 8, the only unmonitored shift was taken by Nobuki, who has clearly stated she had not seen Annie. And by that time, Cash McCon, who held the keycard, was monitoring behind the tree, so she couldn't have stolen the key. Okay, it's not. For example, she turned it to someone for help. Oh. Okay, not this one. It seems there's only one possibility. The cage for visitors and the ore buckets used for transporting minerals are the only passages between the mine and the surface. Since the possibility of the cage has been ruled out, then Annie must have descended into the mine by riding the bucket. In that case, there's a question that needs to be answered. How did Annie overcome the oxygen-deprived environment in the shaft? No, I'm not an expert in biochemistry, but can a person really endure that? If she had suffered from the gas, the police couldn't have apprehended her without her noticing, because she'd be dead. And even if she could endure the gas forcibly, okay. No, I have to think differently. How could she? Okay, can't. Okay, oops. This isn't okay. Mr. McCon mentioned that the nearby equipment is several kilometers away. Where did Annie get such a thing? Even if she did have another set, the police couldn't have been completely unaware. I have to think differently. How? How is that possible? I must have been desperate to come up with such a ridiculous idea. It takes a full 15 minutes to ride the bucket down to the mine. How could anyone endure that? There are several possibilities. None of them are right. Have I walked into a dead end again? No, not yet. If the path is blocked, I'll find another. The most crucial evidence the prosecution used to convict Annie before her confession is the photo by Alex Song. She was photographed touching the murder weapon, yet no fingerprints were found on it, proving her tampering with the crime scene. Let's start with the question. Why aren't her fingerprints on the murder weapon? Okay, no. If we admit that Annie covered up the crime scene, it's equivalent to admitting she's the murderer. Okay, no, not that one. She had no reason to wipe off the fingerprints. According to previous speculations, she came into contact with the weapon after the chief died. Now Cucchio's trying to make Annie take the blame for her. She probably wants Annie's fingerprints on the knife. Why would she wipe them off? Okay, why? The police concluded that the victim died instantly, so she couldn't have made such a move. Even if, for some reason, the village chief wanted to make a desperate struggle to handle the weapon, then there would be bloodstains on the tool he used to wipe off the fingerprints. But there were no such traces on his palms, cuffs, or handkerchiefs. Think other possibilities. Why aren't her fingerprints on the murder weapon? How is that possible? If her fingerprints had been burned by strong acid, the police would have discovered it long ago. Or could it be that she never had fingerprints from the beginning? No, that's even more absurd. Detective Sanford clearly stated that her fingerprints were collected when Annie turned 16. Yeah, I know. Why? Why can't I connect all my deductions? Every time I get a clue, once I eliminate the wrong options, I end up with a more and more absurd conclusion. And Annie's confession along with Cucchio's pestering, I can't refute any of them. Is it because I believed in Annie too much that I have limited my own thinking? Wait, Chief just said, after eliminating all impossibilities, even if the remaining possibility is absurd, it must be the truth we're seeking. Aren't these seemingly absurd deductions really wrong? No need to dwell on them. They're the only options left after I ruled out those proven false. To know if they're true, right or wrong, I need to string them together to see what happens. First, why does Annie protect Cucchio? Okay, Next, why did Annie overcome the oxygen-deprived environment in the shaft? Finally, why are Annie's fingerprints on the murder weapon? Continuing these deductions together leads to the conclusion it means this can't be true. This conclusion, only this conclusion, can explain everything. So this is the truth we're desperately searching for.
朱平江所制作的另一台机器人 GBXF004， 就是你吧？能够解释一切的答案，它听起来荒谬至极。可它，红叶，你真的是茶红叶吗？
红叶如果不是红叶，还能是谁呢？
你为何会对第一次见面的凌小璐唯命是从？你为何会一直失忆，却在最精准的时机下想起一切？如果葵月才是氧气设备的使用者，你究竟是如何下矿的？还有。 身为平凡乡村少女的你，要怎样才能跨越5米的距离，从轿车来到地面？答案只有一个：你的真实身份就是平江超仿真机器人研究所离开的机器人 GBXF004。
什么？
Robot? Yes, Your Honor. Prosecutor Schubert, you should still remember the other work from the Center Cyan. You mean the one that needed tracks to move? Exactly. Her upper body is human-like, with her lower body equipped with auxiliary mobility devices due to limb damage. If her lower limbs were intact, I believe even if she stood before us, no one could tell if she was human. If she wasn't human. GBXF004's number is further down the line, and its technology should be far more advanced. It's even harder to tell the difference. But what does this have to do with the defendant? It's been confirmed that Joseph Crimson, the director of the center, was Quadrant, ahead of Sky Shield. Since he was the technician of Sky Shield, his creations are likely to obey Sky Shield's orders. As the head of Sky Shield, Kujio might be able to directly issue orders to Annie. Are you sure? Sis Luna, I don't know what you're talking about.
Objection.
I don't know what's wrong with you. Such an absurd hypothesis is beyond comprehension for ordinary people. The courtroom is a serious place for criminal cases, not a setting for sci-fi movies.
Objection!
This conclusion is indeed absurd, but as for the abnormalities of the defendant, we can prove that to a certain extent. What? Now I understand why Chief decided to let me take the lead. It's me who's been close to Annie day and night. Also me who conducted a thorough investigation at the research center. Most importantly, there was an item in my briefcase that only I know about. Annie, I don't know what orders you've been given to keep silent about everything. But this piece of evidence can, to a certain extent, reveal you are not the true Annie Lemon.
That's it.
Everyone, please take a look at this. What's this? This is a poster from the Crimson Ultra Realistic Robot Research Center, but the content isn't important. What's important is, when Annie was in the detention center, she wrote a few sentences at the back for me on the back. What's the point of bringing such a personal item to the court? The content of the words indeed has no significance, but what matters is the handwriting. Could it be? That's right. Today, Detective Sanford brought another thing that Annie wrote. This is the amulet that Annie gave the village chief 2 years ago, and some of the words are the same as those on the poster. Indeed! Even without professional handwriting analysis, it's evident to everyone that these two pieces of handwriting are completely different. Oh boy. Annie, you lived in the village all the time. There's no reason your handwriting would have such a huge change in 2 years. You can clearly remember this note, but the handwriting on it is different from your current run. In other words, you only possess the memories of Annie Lemon, but you're not Annie Lemon herself. Order! Order!
Objection.
You've all witnessed the tech of the research center. They can transplant memories of human brain into electronic cores perfectly. Handwriting is a habit and also a part of memory. There's no reason for deviation here.
Objection!
None of us, including you or me, or anyone in this case, are experts in robotics technology. It's meaningless to make such an assumption. But there's a piece of evidence that was once comprehensible to us, but can now further prove my inference. Oh, you mean that thing? Yes. The piece of evidence that can explain the change of Annie Lemon's handwriting is...
That's it!
I thought I clicked that! The memory chip carried by the victim. Yes, we heard the latest recording of it in court. Due to the lack of information, we felt confused at the time. But if the defendant was a robot, the conversation would be intriguing. Can you play it again? Okay, one moment.
"过程很成功，明天就可以用了。
非常感谢，真不知道该怎么谢谢你。
不必了，30多年前是您救了我。我生平最讨厌欠别人人情，这就算一命还一命了。
那老朽还有什么要注意的吗？
严格保密，这件事您本不该知道。
这个肯定。
还有，虽然我尽力保证了完全一致，甚至包括那个小缺陷，不过这种东西我就搞不定了。
这么专业的词，老朽可听不明白。
等一下，这是什么？助听器，有录音功能吗？
有的，老朽怕重要的话听不清，偶尔会把录下来的内容重新听。
保险起见，关了吧。
It's impossible. Could it be that voice A? Yes, I think he's very likely the creator of the robot, Joseph Crimson. And they were discussing the matter of substituting a robot for the real Annie Lemon. Order. I'm getting confused. So you're saying the victim knew from the beginning that the defendant was not the real Annie Lemon? Maybe. The person who might be Director Crimson said that he tried to restore it to the original, even including a small flaw. The flaw would be the night blindness afflicting the villagers of Lemon Village. What he couldn't restore, what the village chief thought of as a professional term is probably muscle memory, right? It's the best explanation for the change of the defendant's handwriting. The so-called muscle memory isn't stored in the muscles. It refers to the conditioned reflex that muscles develop after repeated actions. It is extremely difficult to acquire, but once acquired, it's even harder to forget. Handwriting will also be affected by this. Annie. No, that's not your real name. I don't even know what to call you anymore. Please tell me. Are you GBXF004? Where's the real Annie Lemon? I can't.
Objection!
Defendant, you're struggling in vain. Sis? She's been standing there silently the whole time. I completely forgot she was here. Defendant, the reason I've been standing here is to figure out, what are you? Have you forgotten? I noticed something unusual about you a long time ago. Could it be back then? What I drew from you, although through also a red liquid, that wasn't blood at all. Oh. At that time, I couldn't make sense of the result. But since you had nothing to do with the case of the foreigner's death, I didn't bring it up back then. When I heard you were arrested on suspicion of murder, I immediately applied to take over this case. I didn't know anything about robots, but I thought the whole thing was too bizarre. Now it seems that there are many undisclosed secrets about you. So sis, you knew about it from the beginning? Why didn't you tell us earlier? Have you forgotten? I warned you not to trust anyone easily. You just didn't listen. Well, defendant, are you going to keep struggling? I've been prepared for this situation long ago. The doctor who can verify your identity is waiting outside the court. I could bring him in at any time. What should I do? Don't ask me. Since it's come to this, end it with your own will. I see.
冬雪姐姐，还有雷姐，你们果然很厉害呢。很抱歉，一直以来是红叶，我是说，是我骗了你们。我是由朱平江亲手制造的超仿真机器人。
What? What? How should I feel about this? Okay, wow.
我的编号如你所言，是 GBXF 004。
谁来告诉我，这不是真的吧？肃静，都给我肃静！
原来如此，这就是我想破了脑袋也完全无法接近的真相吗？幸好还有你在。
Even though I figured out the truth, I still gasped in shock when she acknowledged it.
审判长爷爷，冬雪姐姐，律师叔叔，谢谢你们曾经这么相信我。辜负了你们的信任，我实在是非常抱歉。我想，真正的查红叶早在1年多以前就病逝了，我并没有见过他。在他刚去世不久时，所长将他的全部记忆移植给了我。
也就是说，一直以来和我们相伴的人，
是的，从一开始就是我。
Forgive me for hiding the truth. The director was conducting an experiment for robots blending into society as humans. The isolated Lemon Village was a perfect place for the preliminary phase for the experiment. And his final order to me was to disguise myself as Annie Lemon and not let anyone find out. So, I cannot disobey his order. Now that the mission has failed, I no longer need to maintain the disguise and I can reveal everything. Why did you go to be the assistant of the two lawyers? Why did you go to the assistant? Wait, what? Okay, I wasn't tripping. I possess Annie's memories, personality, and way of thinking. These are indispensable parts of me. I'm involved in the case of Mr. Giordano leaving the village, and then becoming an assistant at the Dragon Thomas Co. Every action and every decision followed the heart of the country girl named Annie Lemon. So everything has been predetermined since the moment we entered the village? Probably. What surprised me the most was that Sis Luna brought me back to my birthplace, the research center. That current members at the research center didn't know what I looked like after the modification. But 003 would definitely recognize me instantly. So I reached out to her first and told her to keep my secret. So Annie and Cyan are in sense sisters. At the research center, I learned of the director's death. He never instructed me on how to handle his death. I could only maintain the disguise. I'm sorry, Sis Luna. Chief, I really didn't mean to deceive you. I see. To be honest, my mind is still a mess right now, and it might take me some time to accept the fact. But you don't need to apologize. In our minds, you are Annie. Exactly. It's you who has been with us all the time, not someone else. Regardless of your identity, you have always been the most likable assistant at our office. I see. Thank you. All of you.
Objection.
Aren't your idle chats over yet? Don't forget the trial is still ongoing. You're right. Annie, please give us a little more time. When everything's over, we'll have plenty of time together, hopefully. Yes. Your Honor, Sorry I kept you waiting. We'll continue now. Just now, Annie underwent a significant change in her identity, which will have been a submersive impact in our case. Many puzzling questions need to be reconsidered now. Is that so? Exactly. It's time to untangle all the remaining mysteries of the case. First of all, the question that has puzzled us since the beginning is why Skyshield threatened the reclusive village chief. Could it be that he knew the identity of the defendant, so he had to be silenced? No, far from it. Firstly, judging from the recording, Director Crimson must have done this for Lemon Village Chief without informing the organization. And if Skyshield really wanted to kill the village chief, they could have just snuck into the remote and poorly guarded Lemon Village and killed him there. It doesn't make sense to call a frail 70-year-old man to an abandoned mine far away. Miss Ray, have you come up with a reasonable explanation? Yes, I think there's something crucial we've been misunderstanding the whole time. The threatening letter appeared on the village chief, but was it really intended for him? What do you mean? I think that the threatening letter was intended for this person.
That's it.
Do you mean the defendant? Exactly. As a senior member of Skyshield, Joseph Crimson should have been prepared for being caught or killed one day. I believe he wouldn't leave his creations in the wrong hands after his death. Hence, he likely initiated some emergency protocol. That is informing about other members of Skyshield about the whereabouts of the robot. Miss Cugio, am I right? Oh, interesting. Please continue. Skyshield probably didn't know the name or appearance of the person impersonated by the robot, so they had no choice but to send a letter. This letter contains threatening content, which makes Annie with human emotions unable to stand by and do nothing. Besides, there's an emblem of Skyshield at the end of the letter. It might be an activation order for Annie. But what they didn't anticipate was the real robot, the defendant, had left the village several months ago. Even Director Crimson didn't know it. Thus, they mistakenly sent the threatening letter to the wrong person.
Objection.
Your statement is too speculative. The court won't accept speculation without evidence.
Objection!
My argument does involve some reasonable speculation, but there is evidence to support it. What? The evidence proving the recipient of the threatening letter wasn't the village chief is?
That's it!
Isn't that the phone I gave you? Why are you showing it in court? Hold on, it's not about the phone itself, but the call records inside. On the day of the incident, I had a phone call with a villager from Lemon Village. The recording is saved here. To save time, I'll only play the crucial part. So it was you after all. Do you know why the Lemon Village Chief came to the city? Why ask? How would I know? He took a delivery for someone and suddenly said he wanted to visit your place, so I helped him book a ticket. Have I ever heard the voice before? That's not the point. The point is, this villager confirmed that the village chief took the delivery for someone before leaving the village. Even though villagers are close-knit, the village chief wouldn't casually open others' mails. It was because this letter was meant for Annie, who lived with the village chief, that he could have received it. Order. Order! So, the village chief mistakenly thought the letter threatened him. This letter threatened him? That's a possibility. But I believe when he received the letter, he should have known its original recipient. After all, he knew Annie's identity from the beginning. Maybe he had foreseen this day. Annie is a creation of Sky Shield, and they would take Annie away from him, sooner or later. Do you mean that the village chief knew this letter wasn't for him, yet he still went alone into the mine? Although it's unbelievable, it's the only reasonable inference. We all know what happened next. The village chief went there on time, and the person he met was you, Kujio. Oh, and then? To avoid the camera, you wore the oxygen equipment to the mine by bucket and met the village chief. I don't know the content of your conversation, but your motive for murder is clear. The one Sky Shield summoned should have been the robot made by Joseph Crimson, but what appeared in front of you was a 70-year-old man. You soon realized this person was not the one you were looking for. So what would you think next? Our intelligence has been leaked. This person knows something, or he must be eliminated. Exactly. You killed the village chief and got in touch with the real robot, Annie. Even though you were underground, your phone worked fine due to the signal booster. To avoid suspicion, you instructed her to come down to the mine by bucket, just like you. Annie's a robot, so she doesn't need any oxygen equipment at all. Damn! And for a superhuman robot like her, a 5-meter horizontal distance is no problem at all. She followed your instructions and came directly by bucket to the abandoned area. Meanwhile, you were still unaware of Annie's appearance, so you dared not reveal yourself but observe from the shadows. Thus, there was the scene where Annie, prior to meeting you, discovered the village chief's body and was captured by Alex Song. So the real reason why there were no fingerprints on the handle is... Exactly. In this photo, Annie did touch the weapon directly, but she didn't need to wipe off the fingerprints. Because as a result, she doesn't have fingerprints at all. Order! Order! I have to admit that although these deductions are unbelievable, upon closer inspection they do make sense. Thank you. Regardless of my client's identity, I believe you cannot find her guilty anymore. I see. Before I pronounce the verdict, I must make a statement. There has never been a court in the world that has tried a robot. At this stage of the trial, I must report to the higher authorities to decide how to proceed next.
Objection.
It's not time for that yet. Prosecutor Schubert? This time, I'm not going to overrule all your claims. But it's too easy to win the judgment with such reasoning. Is it too easy to win the judgment with such reasoning? There are numerous unresolved issues. We can't just end the trial like this. First of all, the defense's claims sound reasonable, but there are too many speculation. You made a lot of assumptions about what the defendant did on the day of the incident without any direct verification from her. Because she can't disobey Snowflake's orders. I know it. That's why your deductions have even bigger loopholes. Our side can admit that Sky Shield indeed has every motive to kill the victim. However, since the defendant is an ultra-realistic robot created by Sky Shield, she can also be viewed as a tool. Its tool. Annie couldn't possibly be a tool. Even though the defendant has her own personality and memories, she cannot disobey the orders of her creator and his allies. She can't even defend herself in court. Can't such an entity truly be considered human? Nah. Our side acknowledges the undeniable connection between Snowflake and this case. Whether it's me, Prosecutor Ray, or Detective Sanford, none of us have any intention of letting her off. However, since Kujio can order the defendant to come to the mine, she can also order her to do other things, such as assisting in the crime, handling the scene, or even committing a murder. It is nothing but wishful thinking to rely solely on wild fantasy to paint the defendant as someone who couldn't commit.
Objection!
Prosecutor Schubert. Although you often counter my arguments swiftly, unfortunately this time you're wrong. I also gave you 2 words. All overruled. It's not just my wishful thinking to portray the defendant as someone who couldn't commit a crime. Our side has a piece of evidence that can solidly prove the defendant's absolute innocence. What? After so many trials, I have never heard of such evidence. If you present the wrong thing, have you been prepared to face the punishment? It seems a bit too harsh even for me. Yeah, that's what I'm saving. It's okay, Your Honor. Our side is willing to accept this challenge. Are you sure? Trust me, and trust her as well. At this moment, I understand it now. The trump card to win the verdict has been in my hand all along. It not only holds the memories between Annie and me, but also serves as a source of strength that has driven me in this case. The evidence that can prove Annie's absolute innocence is this.
That's it!
This is the only thing left on Annie that wasn't confiscated by the police after her arrest. It's not only the memento she obtained during the first case we investigated together, but also the gift she gave me when I was lost and hopeless. But those are not the point. What I want to show is the other side of the poster. Could it be? A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. A robot must obey the orders of human beings except when such orders conflict with the first. A robot must protect itself as long as such protection does not conflict with the first and second law. These are the iron laws that each robot produced by Crimson Ultra Realistic Research Center must abide by. I believe many of us have known how strict these laws are. The culprit in the previous case went to great lengths to avoid science witnessing the victim's body. Even Joseph Crimson himself cannot order Annie to harm a human, let alone Snowflake. Therefore, the possibility of the defendants murdering the victim was 0 from the beginning. With the defendant's suspicion ruled out, and the various evidence presented earlier, you are the only possible culprit, Erica Cruccio. Very well. I never heard of the 3 laws. You didn't know? Oh well. I've been tired of listening to your tedious explanation. Fine. I'll confess since you're so intent on convicting me. Yes, it was me who killed the old man. What? Huh. Lawyer girl, you have really grown a lot. You were right about most of what happened that day, but of course you couldn't know the content of our conversation. After all, it contains many little secrets. Are you really the one who sent the letter? What letter? Who are you and why are you here? Don't be in such a hurry. I know you want to call Annie here, right? Annie? Who's that? She's my granddaughter. Well, she used to be. I see. Your presence here means that you're not just an ordinary person. Tell me what you know. Otherwise, don't blame me if I get a bit rough. You're overthinking it. I know very little. I just hope you can let Annie go. She has died once, and I can't bear to lose her again. Died once? An old acquaintance of mine made her body. She repeatedly said that one day she would leave the Lemon Village to fulfill a more meaningful mission. But in my eyes, she's not different from the real Annie. How about we make a deal? Deal? I have no other desires or demands. I only hope in my twilight years I can have a loved one at my side. Could you please not take her away? I came here intending to take her back to the village. And what are the conditions of the deal? Of course, keeping quiet. Keeping quiet? To be honest, I know nothing about you. That old acquaintance of mine and I haven't been in contact for decades before the meeting. I don't know what you're planning, but since you chose to meet in a place like this, I'm afraid it's not something respectable, isn't it? If you insist on taking her away, I'll turn to reporters and the police, and reveal everything I know. You call it a deal, but it's clearly a threat. But I understand your meaning. I can't decide on things like this, but I need to report it to my superiors. If that's so, then I'll stay nearby and wait for you. By the way, what should I call you? I'm Graham Lemon. Just a humble name. It's not suitable to stay here for long. Let's part ways here. I don't like killing innocents, especially people I don't know. Oh boy. Graham Lemon, forgive me. The whole process, more or less, went like this. I heard the name Annie from him and found her number on his phone. And you know the rest. You indeed used your expertise in throwing knives to commit the crime. Yes, when I left the abandoned mine and returned to the shaft, from the shaft, my gloves were torn by glass fragments from somewhere. Probably from the mirror fragments inadvertently left by Miss Nabuki. Due to the fragments, I had to discard the gloves I left behind, and I left behind a fingerprint by accident. Without the fingerprint, you wouldn't have caught me. The mills of God grind slowly, but they grind exceedingly small. A person like you may escape temporarily, but not forever. Really, there's something I must clarify. Even if I realized the letter was sent to the wrong person, I didn't immediately decide to kill the old man. But his threat was troubling. Especially since it would affect Callens as well. After I killed him, I felt like I'd done something wrong, so I bound to his body. I suppose the handkerchief must have fallen at the time? What if I hadn't killed him? The whole thing is just too troublesome. After many astonishing changes, the truth of this case has finally come to light. The long trial has finally come to a close. Detective Sanford, this witness is at your disposal. Rest assured, We owe the success of capturing Snowflake to the cooperation of the 2 lawyers and 2 prosecutors. When the Spring Festival comes next month, I'll definitely give you some red envelopes. Those are for children, aren't they? Detective Sanford, please take the witness away.
Wait a sec.
Do you have something to add? Before taking her away, please allow me to ask a few more questions. Mrs. No, Cugio. 5 years ago, it was you who killed Detective Caliber and Stone at the Apex Stadium. Huh? So because I admitted to one murder, you're eager to pin other crimes on me too? Please answer this question. It's important. Oh well, since you've come this far, I'll share a bit of information as a reward. My testimony in the last segment of the trial 5 years ago was all true. Even if I had obligation to emit trials for Sky Shield, and I would never use firearms, which I'm not good at. The reason why I carried a spiked wooden stick and infiltrated the sauna as agreed was to kill the tumor that led Sky Shield astray. Cerberus. Cerberus? Who is the Cerberus? Huh? What? So Sky Shield fell into internal strife 5 years ago? Don't exaggerate it like that. The so-called internal strife happened between factions, but I've always acted on my own behalf. I intended to kill Cerberus with the wooden stick. When I opened the door, what I saw was a police corpse. I didn't know what happened, so I had to make a quick escape. That's all. So incident number 761, it was you who infiltrated the scene and killed Sans? Oh, there you go again. Don't casually pin the crimes on me, okay? It's really annoying. You even deny this? Does it really matter whether I admit to it or not? Alright, your time for questioning is over. Now it's my time to ask. Yesterday, I had a bad premonition when the junior prosecutor insisted on me coming to testify. Do you think the long-term fugitive would come unprepared? What do you want to do? Let me put it another way. Lawyer girl, you figured out most of the parts of the case, but you missed a crucial point. Why did we specifically ask your little assistant to meet us at the abandoned mine? Huh? In the warning letter that Sky Shield sent to the police, it claimed to make the city plunge into the abyss. And the Foxtail mine, with its natural gas reserves deep within the city's veins, is a perfect target for an attack. It should be for this purpose, right? If Sky Shield were to detonate a high-powered bomb, HMBX 3000 there, the ignited gas would cause a chain reaction of explosions. The consequences would be unimaginable. But the police had anticipated it. So after the incident, the abandoned mine was heavily guarded. Of course you would anticipate it, but that's not what I want to say. Do you know where the bomb is at this moment? Wasn't the bomb supposed to be hidden somewhere in the Foxtail mine? That's impossible. We mobilized all our efforts to search and found no traces of any bomb. But Sky Shield planned to detonate it on Christmas Eve, right? So the bomb is in a place that is inaccessible to the police, where it could be easily transported in the abandoned mine. Hold on, it can't be! Luna, do you have any idea? It's impossible. It can't be true. Oh boy. Oh my, it seems the lawyer girl is smarter than the rest. Mrs. Ray, although your discussion has exceeded the trial of the case, the bomb is of international danger, so the court has an obligation to hear the information. Do you know where it is? Although I can't believe it, it is probably the only answer based on our experiences over the years. To reveal the location of the bomb, I need to... The location of the time bomb HMBX 3000 is related to this person. This bomb was used by Sans to attack the Universal Games 5 years ago. The reason why he was able to bypass multiple security checks and had to personally carry out the task was that the bomb was placed in an exhibit that only he could transport. Could it be? That's right, the exhibit of the work of the Crimson Realistic Robot Research Center, the robot GBXF-004. What? The bomb isn't small. It contains high explosives and is made of metal, so it's not easy to transport. Coated with a shielding skin layer that can evade all inspections, the robot is the perfect container for a bomb. For the past 5 years, the police have laid down a global dragnet, but never found it. The only possibility is that the bomb has been hidden inside 004 all along. Annie, am I right? Yes. The HMBX 3000 has always been inside a small compartment inside my abdomen. What? How would it be? Such a dangerous thing has been in our courtroom for so long! Order! Order! The defendant! You must stand still! Erica Cugio, your purpose of beating Annie wasn't to retrieve the robot. But the bomb! Oh my, you finally figured it out. I really should applaud you for that. Now is the final question you've been waiting for. Please tell me what this is. Oh boy. How is this possible? Why didn't the signal from the transmitter and the remote control come through? In order to conduct the attack, the robots made by Quadrant can block all radio waves, except for the signal of the remote control. I'm afraid pressing the button will take less than half a second. If anyone here makes a move, you'll all be buried together. What do you want to do? The attack on the Criminal Investigation Bureau's evidence room was conducted by you? It's not my duty to answer that. I'm afraid you'll never know. If you don't want to die, you better help Erica clear a path. And you, the cool female cop in white, can I borrow your police car while I safely leave the courtroom? You! Was all of this part of her plan from the beginning? What should we do? Don't ask me. This isn't a situation a lawyer would deal with. Snowflake. Excuse me? I know you're actually gentle and kind. Why would you insist on pushing yourself at this point? Even if you're not the real Annie, I killed the only family member in your memory. How would you say I'm gentle and kind? Did your chip burn out? You should know, I haven't lost my memory, either now nor in the past. Since the incident at Apex Stadium 5 years ago, I clearly remembered every detail I saw and heard. What? You killed Grandpa. I won't forgive you for that, but I know what you've been doing all this time. The attack date planned by Callens is today, but you wanted me to meet a few days earlier. During the meeting, you struggled to disable the bomb, but because the director had locked up my belly compartment, you told me to pretend to lose my memory and then confess at the right time. It's because you wanted to escape. It's not because you wanted to escape punishment, but because you knew if I were locked up by the police, the bomb attack won't happen, right? Erica, my daughter, there's something, no matter what, I have to ask you for. Think whatever you like. Now, this gentle and kind person is threatening the life of everyone in this courtroom. Hey, bitch! I laid out my terms. How much longer do you need to consider? I see. Please stay calm, everyone. Don't act recklessly. Bailiffs, please step back for a while. I'll notify my subordinates to arrange a vehicle.
Wait! Please!
Please wait! What's wrong? I don't know what happened, but just now, the timer on the bomb has been activated. What? Erica Cuccio! Erica Cuccio! I already agreed on your terms. Are you out of your mind? What's going on? I haven't... Oh, I know. Fine, whatever. Don't panic. Everyone, stay calm. Detective Sanford, what should we do now? Escape or lie down? Everyone, calm down. Now listen to me and evaluate in an orderly manner. This bomb is really powerful. Don't have false hopes. First, audience in the first row.
Wait! Please!
炸弹的爆炸时间还有一小会儿，请大家相信胡爷。我还有些话想说，恳请你们就让我任性这一次吧。
红叶，你现在的时间耽误不得，我们必须尽快。
不，一切都会没事的，这里就交给我吧。冬雪姐姐，律师叔叔，还有庭上的各位，请听，我怕现在不说，以后就没有机会了。现在的我不再代表红叶，我想以自己的身份将这些话传达给你们。我虽然在5年前就被制造出来了，但拥有茶红叶的身份和记忆，不过只有短短1年多的光景。在这1年多的时间里，我感受到了来自村民们的温暖和，虽然我明明知道这一切其实并不属于我，但我仍然将他们视如珍宝。我曾经迷茫过很多次，因为将我研制出来的朱所长，他是天盾的干部，如果他还活在世上，或许我们的最终目标仍然会是创造无尽的破坏和杀戮。那么我到底是谁？又是为了什么而存在？每时每刻我都在为这些矛盾而痛苦挣扎，直到这几个月，我才明白了一件事，那就是走出村子游历世界，并成为龙神律师事务所的实习助理，是我这短暂的一生中最快乐。
红叶，
有了这段回忆，我才发自内心的认为，能被所长制造出来，能够成为你们身边的那个红叶，竟然是一件如此幸福的事。冬雪姐姐，律师叔叔，一直以来都是你们在照顾我，保护我。
红叶，你在做什么？
No.
而这一次，终于轮到我来保护你们了。
不要！
What's she gonna do? Just in front of us, Annie showed powers real humans could never have. In an instant, she pushed her way through the crowd and dashed out of the courtroom like flying. At that moment, I seemed to see tears in her eyes, tears that shouldn't have been there. What happened just now? What happened just now? Is it the underground cables? Damaged? Everyone stay where you are. It's still dangerous outside. Luna, are you okay? Luna! I'm fine, but Annie... Quick, let's go. Okay. As we dashed out of the courthouse in darkness, a blinding flash of light pierced through our vision. The figure of Annie had vanished. All that remained was the lingering smoke and the ruins of the center of the square. Annie exhausted every ounce of her strength to reach here, a place no human could get in such a short time. Christmas Eve left the courthouse square empty. Her body minimized the impact of the bomb to the lowest extent. Thanks to her guardianship, this earth-shattering explosion ultimately led to no casualties. When power was restored in court, Erica Cugio, who should have been in the courtroom, vanished once again, leaving no trace. Under the gloomy sky, the biting cold constantly stirred up dust on the ground. The first snow of the year descended punctually at this moment. However, Annie, who had never seen snow in her entire life, had never had the chance to witness its beauty. I fell to my knees, weeping in anguish, silently offering my prayers for her. Yet it was at that moment it suddenly struck me. I had never met the innocent and pure-hearted country girl, the real Annie Lemon, and the robot GBXF-004 once stood by my side, revealed its true self just minutes before in the courtroom. It was only then that I realized both of them were nothing more than complete strangers to me. Just like 5 years ago, the disappearance of the defendant rendered the trial adjourned indefinitely. We had arrogantly believed that in today's trial would bring a satisfactory conclusion to everything. But a long dormant truth sank into a deeper, darker abyss. If there was someone out there watching our story unfold, could you please tell me, what do I do? What should I do? Okay, that is a lot of twists and turns. I was not expecting any of that. I mean, I don't know how to feel about that whole Annie being a robot thing. Was it forced? Maybe. Was it built up to? Kind of. Am I sad that she's gone? Very. What can I say about this case? Well, Erica does kind of have a heart, we can see that. She does genuinely have feelings for Cash, and she does have some morals. Man, I'm not okay. All this was for Annie, and now she's gone. I don't even know if there's a different way for this. Is this how the story ends? Well, I had a feeling it'd be like the bomb detonating, but not like this. Anyway, I'll continue this next time. Case 5, right? The end is near. Probably in like 2 months, I don't know. Because in the middle, I have to attend to something for a whole month, so yeah. I'm not sure. I'm trying to get it out as fast as I can, but as you can tell, I'm not fast. But I'll make it. Eventually. So these were interludes, huh? Yeah. Anyway, next is case 5. Anyway, with that being said, thank you so much for watching my playthrough of Trials of Innocence. And if you like what you see, stay tuned and stay awesome. Good night.